And here we are. So, in that last section, we looked up the Pixabay documentation for searching photos on the Pixabay API. Piece of cake, right? Now we need to discuss how we're going to make a request from inside of a React application, in particular, the one that we've been building. So, here's a diagram. The first thing that I want you to understand is that it's not going to be the job of the React library itself to make the request over to that Pixabay API, right? React as a library is only about showing HTML to our users or showing content to our users and handling user interaction. So that means making an AJAX request to get some information is going to be the job of some separate piece of code inside of our app. And we've got a couple of different options to use inside of our app, so let's have a look at the options. I'm going to show you two of the most commonly used options in React applications that you'll come across at first. All right, so these are two different options. Axios is a third-party package that can be very easily installed into a React project using npm. And we eventually are going to be using Axios. Now, the other option is the fetch function. Unlike Axios, this is not a separate package. It is a singular function that is built into almost all modern browsers. So with fetch, we don't have to install any third-party packages, which means that our final application size, or the amount of code that we have to send down to a user's browser, is going to be slightly smaller, making use of fetch over Axios. However, Axios is a more basic and lower level function to be able to obtain our data that we're looking for. So I'll put it another way. If you use fetch instead of Axios, you're probably going to end up having to write a lot of code that's already written for you in Axios. So if you want to, you could absolutely use fetch, but in this instance, I would recommend Axios because it makes the developer's experience a whole lot easier. Besides the fact that we're going to be using Axios in this project. So I just wanted you to be aware of that, all right? It might look more appealing because it's smaller, but come on, let's get with the program. So in order to do that, let's install Axios as a third-party package. And then we're going to make use of it to make a request over to the Pixabay API. So to install Axios, I'm just going to flip over to my code editor and find my running project right here. And now I'm going to stop the project with Control-C, and then I'll say npm install -- save Axios. All right, so it's going to be a little while. All right, so let's get our server back up with npm start. And now I'm going to go back to my app file, and I'm going to import Axios from Axios. Now we can make use of Axios to make a request over to the Pixabay API. So let's take a break right here. See you in the next section.